Hi! Today, we will learn how our sense of self is shaped by the society and culture we live in. We will discover how your identity, personality, and even the way you act in class or with your friends is influenced by the world around you. But before we get deeper into this topic, let's take a quick look at what we aim to accomplish today. These objectives will guide our learning journey. Imagine growing up without human interaction like Tarzan. No mother, no father, no siblings, no classmates, nobody but the apes as his family. Tarzan didn't just act like an ape, he became one. This story tells us that our self isn't just built in, it is shaped by our surroundings. Tarzan shows us how deeply environment affects identity.
But let's zoom in. What exactly do we mean by self? How is it defined? The self is complex, consistent, private, and unique to each of us. Now, when we say the self is complex, we mean that it's not just one thing. You're not just your name, your habits, or your favorite food. You're a mix of thoughts, feelings, memories, dreams, fears, and experiences. Pwedeng makulit ka sa mga friends mo, pero pagdating sa bahay, you are very quiet and very serious. But that doesn't mean that you're fake. It just means that you're complex. There are so many sides to who you are. Next, we say the self is consistent. That means kahit na nagbabago ka as you grow, may mga ugali ka na parang core mo. Like if you're naturally thoughtful or creative, that part of you stays the same kahit ilang taon pa ang lumipas. You might improve or grow, pero meron pa ring ikaw na nananatili. Then, we say the self is private. Ibig sabihin, may mga bagay sa'yo na ikaw lang talaga ang nakakaalam. Your thoughts, your feelings, your reasons for doing things, those live inside you. People can guess what you're thinking, pero ikaw lang talaga ang nakakaalam kung ano ang nasa isip mo. Finally, the self is unique. Walang ibang tao sa buong mundo na katulad mo. Kahit pa may kakambal ka, your combination of personality, life experiences, and dreams makes you one of a kind. So when we say the self is complex, consistent, private, and unique, we're just saying you are way more interesting and valuable than you probably give yourself credit for. But even if you feel like you've got a fixed personality, the truth is you're always adapting, and that should be considered as a normal thing. So we understand the self as unique and consistent. But here's where it gets interesting. The self isn't just internal. Let's look at how society and interaction shape it from the outside based on the social constructionist perspective. Social constructionists believe that we're not isolated beings. That means we don't become who we are all on our own. Instead, we're shaped by our family, friends, culture, and experiences. How you talk, think, or act, you learn that from the people and world around you. So instead of being born with a fixed identity, social constructionists say we build ourselves through our relationships and environment. Your identity is a reflection of your social environment. So, yes, your barkada, community, even your course all influence your evolving sense of self. One great way to understand this is through a real life example. Let me introduce to you Jessica, someone who, like many of us, plays multiple roles in life. She is a teacher, she is also a mom, and a wife. She doesn't become a different person in each role, but she adjusts how she behaves. That's not being fake, it's being adaptive. You do this too, di ba? You act differently with your parents than with your classmates, right? Pero, paano kaya nagagampanan lahat ni Jessica ang mga roles na ito while trying to stay true to herself? That's where Marcel Mauss's idea of moi and persone helps us understand the balance. Mauss said we have two sides, the moi and persone. The moi is our core self. It is our deep sense of who we are. This is like the part of you that stays the same no matter where you are or who you're with. It's your true self, the way you see yourself deep down. For example, even if you act differently at home than at school, you still know what you believe in, what you care about, and what kind of person you want to be. That's your deep sense of who you are. Persona is our social self. It is our social identity. Social identity is how you see yourself based on the groups you belong to. This can be your family, school, barkada, religion, gender, or even the fandoms you're part of. For example, if you're the eldest child, you might see yourself as the responsible one. If you're a student leader, you may see yourself as someone others look up to. If you're part of a sports team or a K pop fan club, that also becomes part of how you define yourself. These social groups help shape the way we act, think, and even how we see our place in the world. So basically, your social identity is the you that is connected to your community and culture. So with Jessica's case, her moi is stable, but her persone shift with her roles. And it's not just personal roles. Culture plays a big part too. Let's look at how Filipinos adapt when they live in other countries with different social rules. Society shapes behavior more than we sometimes admit. When Filipinos go abroad, they magically start following traffic rules. Why? It's not because they change inside. It's because the environment change. Do you agree when we say that Filipinos show better discipline when they are in other countries? Culture doesn't just shape actions, it also lives in our language. In fact, the way we speak reveals a lot about how we understand ourselves and others. Culture shapes how we express something as deep as love. For example, in Filipino, the word mahal could mean love. When they say mahal kita, it means I love you. It could also mean expensive or precious. See how language reflects our values? And speaking of language, here's something uniquely Filipino: gender neutral pronouns. This small detail actually says a lot about how we see people and identity. In Filipino, siya refers to both he, she, or neutral. We don't always think about it, but that affects how we perceive gender and identity. That brings us to the next point. Are we just shaped by culture, or do we also help shape ourselves? Let's talk about how we actively build who we are. Culture teaches us what's normal or admirable. For example, in the West, you're told to stand out. But with Asians, humility is the key. These values shape how we view ourselves and our achievements. People used to think we're passive in shaping who we are. But research now shows you are active participants. You're not just products of your environment. You engage with it, reflect, and reshape yourself. Two important thinkers, Mead and Vygotsky, help us understand how interaction and language play a huge role in developing the self, especially during childhood. According to Mead and Vygotsky, our sense of self and the way we think are deeply shaped by our interactions with others. Mead believed we developed our identity by playing different roles as kids, while Vygotsky said our thoughts are shaped by the conversations we've had, especially with the people who raised us. So, yes, that little voice, it's part of how you became you. And while social interaction matters, there's one institution that influences us from the very beginning, and that is our family. Our family is our first institution. They teach us how to eat, how to speak, act, and feel even before we know how to spell our name. If a child isn't taught respect or compassion, for example, they may struggle with it even as adults. So let's go back to Tarzan's story. Without a family, he survived, yes, but did he develop a full sense of self? This shows that just how important family is in our growth. Now let's explore another powerful part of our identity, of ourself. That is gender. It is shaped by both society and personal discovery, and it plays a major role in how we see ourselves. Gender is part of your selfhood too. It's shaped by society but also personal discovery. Exploring gender identity isn't rebellion, it is a reflection. So don't let outdated norms box you in. Let's bring that closer to home. In the Philippines, we grow up with very clear gender expectations. Boys act one way, girls another, but what if someone doesn't fit into those boxes? From the moment we're born, society starts telling us who we're supposed to be. Boys are expected to be tough and unemotional, while girls are told to be sweet and gentle. But what happens when a boy loves to dance or a girl dreams of climbing mountains? Do those interests make them any less of who they are? Of course, not at all. Society may try to put us in boxes, but we have the power to decide which labels to accept and which ones to break free from. As you can see, the self isn't one dimensional. It's a mix of all these influences: culture, language, family, gender, upbringing, experiences, and even personal choices. The self is socially constructed. That's what makes us dynamic, adaptable, and beautifully complex. Now that we have explored all these layers of the self, it's time to turn the lens inward. Let us reflect. How much of you are is truly you, and how much has been shaped by others? Try to reflect on the following questions that you see on the screen. Remember, the self isn't built alone, it's built together. Thank you for taking the time to reflect with me today. Keep asking questions, keep growing, and remember, the self isn't built alone, it's built together. Thank you for taking yourself is a beautiful work in progress. So be kind, stay curious, and keep exploring who you are. Yourself is a beautiful work in progress. So be kind, stay curious, and keep exploring who you are. Yourself is a beautiful work